left, to be fair. But if we think about it, we are almost there. Now we have the most heavy hitting stuff that we gotta make. And we have to basically make a new folder for that. That is going to be our pages folder. And inside our pages folder, we make our home page.js. This is going to be our home page. So we need to make sure that we import for this. We will import, first of all, state from React, and we need to make sure to import the search anime from API. We also need to import our to the search bar. It is. We need to import the loading. We need to import. What else do we need? We need the search by the pagination. We need to import our error message. We need to import our anime card. And I think that should basically cover everything right on. Page. Okay, we're missing something. We got search bar, we got loading, we got pagination. Yeah, that should be everything. Let's get our function home page rolling now. So what are we trying to make? We will need a bit of well, we need to make some variables that score some things, right? So we should be needing, first of all, query and set query. So basically you stage and the state will be this. Let's copy this. Copy this. Put it here. What was search last? Over. We need to make this S bigger, and we need to copy this. Go here, paste it up, and again copy the entire line. We need to make an anime. So anime list. Do this. Come here. Save it. Now our anime list is not going to be string. Okay, so before we move forward, let me explain some things to you very quickly. This is going to be the default value when this is initialized. And the use state is going to keep listening on whatever shade is here, right? Now the set query we'll use to change the value of query. You'll see how. The most important thing you need to remember is this is because we are actually, this is what is storing the value that we are going to use. This right here, this is basically for changing that value. And this is basically to declare. So basically, if we think we are actually having a string here, right? So text last search is basically going to be some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. That's what I'm guessing, right? So let's say for the pagination, the last search was something, right? It's still going to be stored here. Initially, it's going to be empty, right? For the use state, we need an array because anime list is going to have a long anime. Next thing that we'll need is current page, right? And we also need the current. Just copy it from here and then Yep, current page. Make sure this is capitalized, which we have not done here. This is very important, as it makes it easier to read. Let's get you state, and the current page will always be 1. Okay, let's come here, and there we now have next page is something that we were going to need. Set has next page will be use state, and initially we'll initialize it to, actually not true, we'll initialize it to false. Let's get the next one rolling. The next one has to be the loading. Loading, and we use the use state. It deletes that initially loading will be false. Then we have on. We need the error and error, and we need again the use state to make sure that there is nothing. So now we almost have everything right. There's something that we are missing, and that's the ending of each statement, which is very important. And then you get async function, and we call it fetch anime. For fetch anime, we will need the search, and we will need the page number. I should remember completely well, we created something exactly for this. So let's do this. Initially, when this function is called, let's set loading to false. What this does is takes this value, asks us what is inside here, and set loading, puts the value from here to there. You're playing on the basis of this, okay? So let's get back. Good. Because we are trying to load now, we need it to be this. Error also has to be empty. Let's try. What are we gonna try? We're gonna try const. We're gonna try const data equal to await search anime. If you remember search anime, if you have heard it somewhere before, you will remember that it was in our API. Pretty nice, right? Search anime. We did not get the other function because this page is only for showing stuff. It's the home page where we search. It's not E1 where we are going to show the details, right? So this is not that page. So we only need the search anime function here. And that's why we needed both of these, because both of these will be passed along to search anime, and that we are going to do through search text, comma, a number. Okay. Okay, we basically do this now. Search anime list should basically have data dot results. If that does not exist, just put it empty. Then set current page should have data dot pagination. If that is not there, we put the current page number, whatever it was, there. Now set as next page will be data dot pagination. We're missing something here, right? So pagination that we are getting, we have to ask it, does it have the current page parameter? This has to be small. All right. Does it have the next age parameter? It has to be has next page. So something that I want you to understand, right? Now, this is the data that we got from the response, right? So this data right here has result and pagination that we got from our um well, from the thing that we basically from our function from the backend, right? So now set last. So if you look at the API that we did listing, it will have both of these things. And we need to search text here. Yeah. We call search text here. And to make sure that the set last search was basically what was search last is set already. And did we actually define? Yes, we did. Very well. Anyway, now let's get rid of these spaces. And we want to come here and we want to put a cat. In cats, we want to make sure that we're catching some error, let's say. Okay. Now, what do we show? We show const message equal to error dot response question mark dot data question mark dot error. Otherwise, we say something. And we're just basically asking it for this error, whatever came in, or the response in the data. Was there an error that was decided by our system? If there is an error, that's okay. If there's nothing that was said from the backend, we just write something went wrong. We basically don't want to trouble our users, so we gotta make sure that we do that. We also have to make sure that that error is set to the message and set anime list is set to empty. This will make sure that if there is an error, it just erase the entire thing again. Okay. And if all of this succeeds somehow, we need to make sure we set loading as false. That should take care of everything, right? Yeah, that should technically take care of everything if you think about it. Yeah, it should. So set false is done. We will have to end this function now. Yeah, so the function home page is completed. Now we need a function to handle. We need a function to basically before we do that, we also need to do something else because what happens when the search form submit is clicked, right? When the search form submit has to be clicked, we need to create a handle search function. Is this what we named it? Let's go back to our admin card. Let's see what we actually named it, right? So this was all search mode. One search query. Yeah. Yeah, we need to create a handle search event. It's basically what happened that is going to trigger it. And we to do is that event dot event defaults. This will prevent it from refreshing the page at all if not query dot print, not query dot send. This function, we have not used this name anywhere, which is a good thing. Let's see. So if not query dot trim, and we should basically set error that we should please enter element. Okay, that should be able to do it. And then we return an empty, and it should basically, yeah. Otherwise, if everything is good, we also need to fetch element. So we need to fetch element. And we need to make sure that we have not used this name somewhere. Yeah, we have not used that name, which is good. We need to fetch anime query dot trim, and that's what we will use. This right here, it will search from page one using the type query. Okay. And fetch anime best, I guess. Fetch anime will care of the rest. Yeah, the function take care of the rest. We already have that. Oh, there is something that I have to think. Why are we outside that is the question. We should have been inside, right? So most probably we have made a small mistake here. Close the function too early. Yeah, that makes sense now. Now that is for our handle search. Now we also need a function that does handle page change for us. And let's say that new page is what we're playing at. Okay, now the handle change function is important. This is basically a function for page generation clicks, and it will fetch the same query parameters on the selected page. So we will do fetch anime. It's the name that we're using. We put the last submission it, and we put the node page in it. This should be able to do it, I guess. Yeah. So you do handle page change, calls fetch anime, which is basically going to everything, and it will also basically so yeah. So let me explain again what functions we made. This function right here handles the search basically. It has to handle every single thing. It has to basically make sure that whenever we click So in the flow of everything, the first thing that will be triggered will be the handle page change. It triggers the fetch anime, basically. The fetch anime then triggers the call, everything, and just finds whatever we need to put in. This function right here is basically a helper function that we are going to be using for something like, what do you call it? Now I explain the, so whenever we are going to search something, right? If, let's say, in any case, this is the user input, we don't want to send that to a backend. I mean, we have the handling on our backend, but we should not be doing that. User is manually triggering that, that's a different story. But for our front end, we need to make sure that something has to be inside, at least an A has to be inside. That's why this function exists right here. And let's come to the return. Now this is where the fun begins. First of all, we get a main. Let's give it a class name. And the class name will be page. Let me see. That should do it, right? Yeah. We need to create a section and we need to give it the class name of hero section. And inside the section, we will create our first heading that will be anime search app. And we need to tell the user to basically search anime view cards and open details, etc. Great. That, etc. should handle everything, I guess. We are missing the search bar, which we already have made. Oh, this is capital. Okay, so we have a search bar object. In the search, let's go to the search bar once again. Remember, we need the query, we need the set query, and we need the on search. So for the query, we have query itself. We need to make sure that this is inside of this. So the query, we are good to go. Make sure that there are no spaces in this because it looks very bad. In Python, it's good to set some spaces, but here, that's right. The set query is basically our set query state. And the on here will be our search function that we created. And the handle search is right here. If you want to see, that's how we are searching. Yeah, and I guess that should be the section itself. Now we need to make sure that whilst we are loading, and show our loading. If it is loading, we do this. And if in case there is an error, we could have hard written these codes too, but since we are going to use it in multiple locations and I want to show you guys how to write these things very well, I wanted to do this instead. For our error message, we have to send a message also that will have the error that we know already and make sure to close it. Now, if it is not loaded, and basically there's something like no error at all. And at the same, And when I go at the same time, our anime list, the length is basically greater than 0. So there is something inside it. What we want to do is we want to show the, let's create an empty fragment. Basically, we have to now basically return multiple elements, right? So we need to create an empty fragment here. And while we are doing that, we also have to create a section for this, and that will have the class name. Let's give it some class name. Let's give it anime. That sounds the most perfect for this one. And let's give it the anime grid class name, and let's close this section. Inside this section, we now have to map anime list or map. And we have to make sure that we are naming every single anime like this. Let's now for every single anime that we'll run. I'm missing something really important here. It is this thing right here. Now for every single anime that I'm going to see, right, I need to create an anime card. And that anime card we have already created. We need to take the key as, let's go to our anime card element and let's see what we need. The anime card requires an anime function, an anime object, and it will have anime, image, title, score, episode, and type. Okay. But in order to use that, we have to pass the anime function to it. And the key has to be anime.malID, I guess. Yeah, because that's going to be unique every single time. So that will create the best thing. And this right here should be the object that we're passing. Inside the anime list. I guess that should do it. And because it's a self-created object, you have to close it like this. Now, there is something that is missing, I guess, because, yeah, I guess something has went wrong. That is, this thing right here should have been closed here. Let's just get it here so that it's easy to see. And once we have created our anime card, we have closed our section, we have closed that fragment, and then we have closed our result condition here, we have our main closing here, and then we have our return closing here. Now, this right here, as you can see, this is our home. Now, there's a singular problem. That is expecting a line, and it's already there. So why would it say this? Why is it expecting that? Let us think about it for a second. What are we missing? Oh, we created a function. We did not get this. Yeah, now it should be good. We set the parameters. Now I want to see this entire thing, right? So I need to basically go in and create an app.js file. And I want to see what it looks like, right? So let's give it routes, comma, route. We need that, and we will put it from yeah, router DOM. And this will be necessary for displaying the pages. Then we need to go in for we need to import the home page from or lives in the homepage dot js. This is where it lives. Close this. Let's get our app now. Let's be very careful because we haven't created the entire app till now. Did we? Did we? No. Yeah, we did not. Sport default with page. Let's do this. And that should be able to get our home page ready. What is- Yeah, it's good. Now that we have our function, we need to turn in the main. So first of all, we need to get the routes. Now, route dot equal to backslash element equal to that from the home page itself. Close it. Okay, that was a bit stupid, I guess. We return the home page and always remember to close it here because it's a route object at the end of the day, right? So close the routes, close the return statement, and export before. Now, this literally means that for the front end to open, just open this right here. And if you put something in front of it, it means that you route to that exact path. So if I write anime or something like that, then it will take me to that exact placement. So what we need to do now is we need to go into our terminal. We already have a terminal for the, let's do npm start. Let's see. Okay, we did not go into its front end. cd front end. Let npm start running. We are not connected to our right. So let's see, depreciate reduce function. So that should have opened our React app. Okay, so okay, this means that we have not added into our package list these three things. So we need to open our package.json. Okay. And we already have write scripts and everything, right? So we do not need that. We need to go to NCs. And we need to add a few here. So we already have the React DOM. We have the React router DOM. We do not have the React router DOM. So let's add a router DOM. And how are we going to give it? We're going to give it whatever is the latest one. Make sure that the comma is there. Next, we also used Axios, so we want to make sure that we use the latest version of Axios. We also used Y. We do not use Y, so we used React instead. We have already got React. What else was there in the let's find out where is it. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? We have React Router DOM, we have Axios, and we have React Router DOM. Okay, these dependencies should do it. So before anything, we need to close this, and we need to install econs. So we have this right here that we need to fix. And then npm install. So that is going to install the latest version of React Router DOM and the latest version of Axios. Now npm start should not give us issue at all. Let's close this one because we don't need it. Let's see what we use routes can only be used in the context of a router component. Okay. At a router component. Where are we using this? Let's come back to our App.js and see. So this, okay. You know what? Let's just solve it right here because we are honestly getting late and it's okay. This is a very kind of a silly mistake that I've made. So let's just fix it. Yeah, just like I got. Yeah, so we basically had to use. Okay, what does it say? It says to use browse router as router and routes amount. So most probably that should work. Yeah, so we needed a router for this. Now we have a router for this. And you know what? Let's start it again. See what we get. Okay. This right here. No, let's reset it. If I go and put in Naruto, something went wrong. And I know exactly what that something is. We do not have our backend running. So now the backend should be running. And we still have something going wrong. Which means that something is definitely not going wrong here. Let's look into this place. Everything looks good. What could it be? What could it be? Let's think a lot at once. We basically have on our front end, we have App.js, which is going through the home section. And everything is good here. And then in the back end, it sends a. Okay. Before we move on to anything else, let's see what is the problem. Okay, we're getting a 404 that the server is right. And, okay. Oh yeah, this is. I understand what this is. This is basically the problem of this thing right here. It is pretty much so. That's fine. This can be fixed with here. 404 while searching anime and this exact thing right here. Okay, where did it go? Yeah, it's right here. What readable? Right here. If you look here, this should not be how your URL is being written. So, in all honesty, it should be actually like this slash API slash anime. So that's how it should have been. And the fact is that this is idiom. It's not good. It's an easy fix. So let's get it fixed with AI because why not? So this is basically not something that we are doing wrong. It's just the URL that has been encoded as you just saw. Yeah. So you see this? Let's open this file. See, this was the mistake of us writing it like this. And I could be half-assed to complete it. Yeah. So now it should be good. This time, when it was writing it, not because you didn't have this right, it was you are encoding it to the other part, and you were seeing that percentage and everything else that you should not be seeing. It should have been a simple this thing and then anime search. So now let's go here. Let's get rid of this, right anime. And we still have something going wrong. So let's open the dev tools and see. So the access to the LHD on my page one from origin has been blocked by calls policy, more access control, origin now has been the requested resource. Let's try. We are able to access it. So the API anime search, we are still able to access it. And let's see what AI has to say about it. Also learn how to debug using AI, right? So, see, the thing is that, yeah, see, yeah, it was our own mistake. If you see, yeah, the allowed host should have been localhost, which we did not add. And I mean, we did add it, but we made a small mistake here. And the 5173 port is actually 3000. So this an inevitable thing that is wrong on myself. It may work for you, it may not work for you. Depends. Something on my system might be running on the same port and it's not working, so it is assigned something else, right? So, let's see. Okay, we also need to do this because we have changed our system variables on the back end. We need to restart our server and voila, we still have something that is going wrong. Let's see. An origin headers and the requested resource. Yeah, that's not something that should happen. You already have the local host and this. And if I do the yep, the tools go here. And quickly fix this off. So we should be able to fix it. Understand? Let me see ones here. Yeah, It should have been. Is it one or is it C? Yeah, no, it is this only, right? But there is something more. So we could honestly do this instead of this. Yeah, that is also one thing. Like that would do. We could. I mean, that doesn't change much to be fair, right? So if you come here and you search for animations, what you could do is, while the AI tries to fix it, is that we could do this card. Well, now, origin, I guess this is. Let me check. Or is now all origins equal to truth? Yeah, this is the one. And what we can do for this is let's just put it into comments right now and put the allowed host test or so this is not the permanent fix for it, but yeah, that does not sound right. So let's get rid of this right here. Um, search it and let's copy it. It's relevant. Oh, okay. Now, they should be able to debug everything now if we are not wrong. Yeah, so that's exactly what we did, but okay. I would definitely want to do that also, which is very weird. But let's see. Fingers crossed. I mean, we just did that, right? So it's okay. Let's be our human in localhost in Pool. So let's see. Link is a wide element tag and must have children or use dangerously set in our HTML. Maybe okay. Must have children not use dangerously set in our HTML. What do we have here? Let's see. Okay, why doesn't that version? But what is it happening? Let's open the boots. Open the boots. that is happening at the link component. So most probably something to do with. Okay, that is in the anime card. So link plus thank you. It. Hot and hot. Hmm. On the street. It's fair. And since we've done this, let's do Naruto. Okay. So everything seems to work perfectly now. And there are no routes to this exact thing. Okay. So now we're done with the home page. The next thing for us to do is the other page instead, right? So we did all of this. Now we need to make the next page. And what did we name that page? Let's see. We named one of them home page. So let's name the other one as detail page. Broad.js. Yep. So let's get to it. Import use effect and use date both are needed. And we also need the link comma use random norms react outer norms. We will need get anime detail from API. We'll also need the loading screen. We will also need the error message. Hot dang, I think that's all we need, right? So next thing we need is before we create a we need do not mean anything else. Let's create a function detail page. And let's get on to it. So we'll need on for us the anime ID will be equal to use params. Now, if you understand use param, you're basically getting it through a route. And I am just telling you that just read the URL and get something from there, okay? So you just put the anime ID from the URL itself, and then so basically 20 for us for Naruto, right? So it's that anime. You take null, and then we get cons loading, and we need that loading to be a state. And we get it through use state, and set it with false. And then we need, after that, the error and set error bookends. Yeah, that's why I was not clear. And that will be wait, false. Now, thinking about this, we already have everything that we need, I guess. Yep, I think so. Now, what happens when the page loads? When the page loads, we need to make sure that it's in function. Not a bit async function fetch between the parameters. You need to keep it empty. It is set loading equal to, and it is set error. Okay. We set loading and set error. For the error, we set it as this, and for the loading, we set it as true. Sorry. The page loads. This is to be happening. When the page loads, you will try to do inside const data. You will store. Wait and call our function. You get an anime detail. Inside that, we will put our anime ID. And then we will set anime data.anime. This is our anime object now, which has been set. Now, just in case we encounter error, we want that there should be a const message equal to error response question mark dot data question mark dot. Does it gosh. No, just listen. Good. No. Or and details. So this is what happens, and when we use set header, that we put the message of it. We could have written it in one line, but it just looks cooler. I just hide it. We want to make sure that when finally we set our basically the coding that is set there, right? Oh, missing right few things, I guess. It's this I'm just subloading will end here. Where are you from? Sir, you're from this. Where? Mm-hmm. Once we're done with this, we need to all fetch details. And that once here. That fetch details. All the fun. The slight error here. Fetch details. This is named it actually. Let's put it fetch detail instead. And fetch detail will be called. Oh. Let's see what is the problem. It is expecting a comma, which has to be here. So yeah, this is not the place that the comma should be. the fetch detail was not to be here, it was to be here. And once the fetch detail is here, you will comma anime ID. If what this line means right here is that if the anime ID would change, that's the only time when you're allowed to run this function again. Okay? If loading, then what at that time you should return the loading. Okay. And that should be for error also. If there is an error, then you have to make sure that you are returning the if not enough described. What else do we need to do? So not wrong, the error message should be the error message is the name of the thing that got created, the function that got created. And it required a message, right? So the message will be no anime data. And just keep it like that. Make sure to do this. And that should be the end of it. Now you need to get image URL. Image URL equal to small mistakes that you make. Image URL equal to anime dot images. Does it exist? Is it JPG? Not live. Image URL. We saw this the last time we checked out the thing, right? So we know that not images. If this does not exist, JPG question mark dot image URL. That should be your image URL. Then you need a const. Make them equal to anime dot title English and anime dot title. It's not there. Straight on anime dot genre question mark genre equal to anime dot genre question mark. It's S in here also, and then we basically need to map here the genre under name. This should be a list, and then we want to join that exact list minus space, and it belongs in genre. Just return unknown. It's just hardening on the front, right? Done. What are we looking to return now? Let's see. We want to return main class name. What was the class name that we made the last time that we age? What's the name of that class? All right, so then we also need to know link class name. That let's name it something like this. Too. And we need to go back, right? So this one back to that's we're going next. Yeah. Then we need a section, and that section we need to put a class name. Class name will be details. Are right. Well, that should be good. You need to do this also. While we're doing this, there's a lot of data that we have to process here. So first of all, we need inside this section an image at the end of the day, which will be class name, details, image, and the source for this will be the image URL that we have. And the alternative will also be the title. That should be the alternative to the image. And that should, yeah, cover everything, if I guess. Once you have the image, you need a if now for this thing, and you will name it details content, and the detail content div has to have the h1 title, whatever is the title of that anime, then a paragraph with strong Japanese title, which we had basically on this way here, which is gonna be the anime object dot title Japanese. Okay. And we do the if there is no Japanese title that I produced, to just keep it like this. And film space also. Make sure that there's no space here because it will dump. Let's do this. Paste it down here. Next thing that we need is the score. And that will be an score. Let's go down here in the same place. And now we have the episode, and that will be download our episodes. All right, that is anime.episodes for you. And then we also needed that type because anyways we're passing it, so type ultra anime or type, otherwise just passing it that. After that we will need a genre, and we already created our own this thing folder, so let's put let me just put our object genre. Is it genre or genre? It is genre, right? So That is our own object genre coming into here. And after all of this, we need our paragraph, or we also need to give the name. Class name equal to this. And what is going to be inside the synopsis will be an anime thoughts trying out this. Uh, if the synopsis is not there, just write and slash a and close the damn thing. Okay. That should cover all the cases, I guess. And then you close the div, then you close the main, and then you close this. We already put cat there, and you need to export default big whales page. What was it? Page. Now, there is something that is missing somewhere, which is causing us a problem. As in, it expected a closing statement, right? And we gave it also return. We are giving it of closing operator. Then what could be going wrong here? We did not close it. So we have to close up here. Now the return should have been fixed. And now it says that it expects because we haven't closed it. Or have we? Yes, we have closed it on unknown genre, which doesn't make any sense that it would ask. Because we are closing it almost everywhere. So let's do this. And let's get this fixed. In our details page. I mean, if I'm here before it's okay, but there has to be something missing. What is this? Okay, it's not what I was wanting to see, but okay. That is what I was missing. That should fix everything. Let's go to App.js and now add our route here. We will add the path equal to anime. Also need to add the name to a particular anime, which creates a new problem. So we do that is this way. ID now it knows that this is the ID of the anime that we are trying to pass. And the element very weird. And the element will be the page. And make sure to close it. The element will be the detail page, and then you indicate about. Now that should take care of everything. And if we go to our terminal, let's get rid of this because we're not going to use it. So let's go and start again, just in case. and we go to Water Pro. Click here. Okay. So we cannot read the properties of null reading images. Null reading images. Okay. This has to be fixed in details page itself. What is actually happening here that it cannot read a property of null? Okay, so if you look at the image source, the image URL for us, the source for the image details image. Okay. Mm, the source was basically our. No, that's actually what we need. The detail image is what it is. Source alternative. And we did close it, so should not have this issue here. Most probably we have um let's see, go back and reading images. See what we have here. Open items. Detail page. If we look into it very well, we will see that we have an issue that is spamming on the exact image. Because I think detail, which is what is using section. Yes, section was closed. We will not get its title. Image URL is the source. And if we look carefully, we have anime.images .jpg .image URL, or we have anime.images .jpg image URL. Doesn't make any sense that would be happening. But since it's happening, let's find out why. Let's see the most effective way. Let's see. Okay. We should have had a guard against it. What did we do wrong there? Okay, so it basically is telling us to add a guardrail here. It's because we do not have this right here. And even then, it should not be the next time you support and if you said here, you getting the wrong thing in here, that should fix it. Oh, don't believe you think that loading is all error and the error is there if you have that message. But the message should not be. I'm trying to appropriately doing it. Let's select Naruto, click on it. Yeah, we still have that problem. So yeah, sometimes it just doesn't fix like that, right? So then our image can be null, right? So Where are we soon learning happen? We actually have an issue here instead. And there is also missing this thing. Wait a second. This is start and drive it and how to is it? How we go missing door to races also. Let's keep it. That should fix everything. So basically we were missing one of them here that goes in bracket here and our error. This was both of them were wrong. So now it should work if we look at it. Naruto. Naruto. Let's load the anime. Okay, we're stuck at loading anime for a long time. And guess what? No, it wasn't that side anime. Yeah, that's not gonna work, basically. Because technically that would not. Yeah, yeah, that is a routing issue itself. So it's to loading persistence is causing error. Same thing because I don't have the exact key to do that. I just copy paste it from there. We basically need to change here. So it's got App.js here. Yeah, if you look at this, that's where we need to use the other one. I always get this wrong, which is okay, but we know now. So let's get to Naruto. Perfect. Everything looks perfect as it should. Now, as everything works, I am gonna provide a CSS file to go along with it. And this video's already gotten long enough past the 2 hour window that we wanted to complete it in. So I'll not be completing the CSS and I'll try to add that on later instead. But the idea is pretty simple. We already have everything in place, so wouldn't take too much to actually do it and create a CSS for that entire thing. So yeah, I'll try to add in a 10-minute CSS session to help you guys understand how to do it. But I hope everything is clear now. I will also be putting the Git link to this repo right here. So people can see what happened in here. And I guess that's all for today. See you next time, guys. All the best and have fun playing around with this. You guys could also try. Actually, yeah, before I leave, you can also try to add in new features like trying to sort by the rating, sorting by the season. All that data is already in JSON. I was thinking how to, but it would not be possible to do it within a 2 hour window and explain at the same time. So you guys can go ahead and do it yourself. And that will be all for today. Thank you guys. And I'll come back soon with another application or something else later. Fun.